right. How great was Dorinda? Amazing. It's pretty hard to follow a celebrity, so you guys have to take it easy on us, okay? That's a tough act to follow. But we're here to talk about holistic ROAS. And the reality is the whole theme of the event today around the orchestration era is complex. It's hard. It's not an easy solution. It's not an easy thing to solve for. And as marketers in the orchestration era, I would say our job is not for the faint of heart. We are constantly asking ourselves and being asked by our stakeholders, frankly, some of the toughest questions we've ever been asked in our career. And on top of that, we're being asked, how do we do it with speed and at scale? It's not an easy solution. Questions like, is my investment strategy right? At what point in this channel am I hitting diminishing returns? Is my advertising making people go buy in store instead of online? And if so, am I capturing the full extent of that? Is my media making my brand more valuable over time? Are we driving enterprise value? And also, on top of that, am I using AI enough to make me do it all faster and better and cooler, right? It's not an easy solve.
Yeah, the good news, though, is that the marketing journey is super simple and easy to digest. No, but I think that, as time has gone on, what we have seen is just this chaos and this complexity just continue to evolve. I think when we were doing this 10 years ago, 15 years ago, a lot of the conversations we were having were with brands that effectively set up their Shopify site and then everything was D2C, right? Everything went straight there. That was super simple for us.
That was a fun era.
Yes. I'm so naive, so young then. But the impression to delivery and just the conversion metric was simple. But of course, as time went on, the retailers got involved as they rightfully should because we had to meet the audiences where they were and where they were shopping. And so you had more of these opportunities where you can sell on Amazon, you can sell on Walmart and Target, of course. But then, of course, those retailers in and of themselves released their own retail media network. So now I'm buying Walmart DSP, Amazon DSP. Thank you for our sponsors, Amazon and Walmart. But wherever those impressions were landing, that doesn't mean that they're going to convert solely within Amazon or Walmart. They're going to convert where they're used to converting. And so a lot of what we were tying together here was to make sure that, of course, an impression will land somewhere and we're going to purchase it somewhere, but we have to make sure that if we are getting $1 back, we have to notify where that is and make sure that we're continuing making investments so that revenue keeps going in the right direction. And so, as Dalton said, this is really what we're building here today and what we have launched in the terms of holistic ROAS. It's really tackling these biggest questions and challenges today. So one, of course, is something I believe that we're all asking ourselves constantly, which is my investment strategy right? Is the ideas that I'm going to market with and the audience that I want to hit and how we're going to hit them, is that the right and correct way to do it? Beyond that also, is my media, whether that's happening online, digitally, wherever that is that driving in-store outcomes? So if you're selling within a retailer or you own a point of sale, wherever that impression lands, how do I make sure that when people are going into a mall or a grocer or something like a Kroger, like they're going to think of my product when they come across it on the shelves? The next one is, of course, our channels driving business outcomes. I think that a lot of the metrics that we talk about today, like whether that's revenue or even profitability and how that works, we want to make sure that whatever that is, even though we're all marketers, like we want to make sure the CFO understands it, or throughout the entirety of the organization. We don't just have to do the CFO here. And then lastly is the media that I am investing today driving a positive impact on my brand value? I think that last one we tend to, I don't call it ignore, but we don't measure it as much as maybe as we should. I want to make sure that if I'm investing, my awareness, of course, is moving up into the right, but beyond just that, I also want to make sure that my consideration or my positive sentiment is moving in the right direction as well. So with that, we have really wanted to build an entire decision engine to make sure that we're making those best investments. Now, Marissa said this earlier, which I loved, is brand, performance. What is it? It's all driving sales, right? Like the idea that there is a specific channel that is brand only feels like a false equivalency. Like you run more upper funnel media sometimes, of course, but of course it's driving revenue as well. Maybe the conversion path is a little bit slower or more latency that you see from there, but it is moving in the right direction, and we want to make sure that we are capturing that. So what this build looks like. So first, we want to make sure that we are capturing your online D2C revenue. That's easy. We've been doing that for 15 years.
Yes,
we're
good at that.
Let's move on. Beyond this, we also want to make sure that we're capturing your online channel revenue. So everything that you're selling within those retailers that we mentioned. Maybe you have your own website that's a little bit off of that. If there's something that's happening within those Amazon, Walmarts, Kroger's, Targets, we want to make sure that we're ingesting that data as well. Third is we want to make sure that that point of sale data, that everything that's happening outside of just online retailers, but in-store retailers, that's coming into our system too. And we're treating all of this different and unique because a display ad that you're seeing online, maybe that's a little bit easier to convert that in terms of revenue through your D2C website. But is a display ad actually leading to an in-store sale? That is something that we're trying to answer with this. And then lastly, we want to understand what brand-driven revenue looks like. So if media is going to drive consideration or sentiment in the right direction, I want to make sure that I'm seeing the downstream effects of that all the way down to revenue. As you can imagine, as consideration is going up, people are going to consider the product more, and they're going to go to your website, and they're going to ultimately convert. I want to make sure that I'm capturing that latency so I understand where all my returns are coming from. So with that, you throw that all on top of media spend, and you can see this already. This is holistic ROAS. This is the idea that wherever that revenue is being generated, wherever it's coming from, I am ingesting it, so I know exactly how my media is driving return on ad spend. That's right. So what does holistic ROAS do for us? So first, it reveals the full impact. I walked through all those different channels that people are selling on, a lot of those advertisers are selling on today, whether that's in-store, whether that's online retailers. We want to make sure that no matter where that is, we're ingesting it. The next piece of this is we're really trying to optimize for profit and revenue. So we're trying to get to best understanding of where that dollar is going to come from. And the more that we ingest this data, the more transparency that we can see where those dollars are going to come from. And then the last is we want to find the predictive results. We want to know that if we're going to run this model and we're going to see what this looks like today, what does this look like a year from now? Where do we find that next best dollar overall? How do we make sure that we're still moving in that right direction to make sure that we keep on crossing that frontier? And as you can see here, this is in our app right now, the holistic ROAS. It's a lot of blurry, but I promise you, if you want to do the demo upstairs, you can see this in a lot more clear. But we're trying to map that efficiency frontier, right? If you keep on investing $1 into media, we expect you to get something in return. The question is, for how long do you get that return? I think a lot of what our chief product officer talks about when it comes to this and understanding how this is going to optimize your media mix and where to invest is really understanding this from enterprise value. Right now, we have a lot of brands, they're either publicly traded or even privately traded, it's the same way, that are valued as enterprise value as a multiple of revenue, right? If I keep on getting $1 of revenue, my enterprise value goes up a certain X, right? So when we are looking at this, and we've looked at this for other brands and say that an enterprise value is 3X revenue, if we are going to keep investing and we're going to keep on getting dollars back because of our media plan, how do we report that back to our advertisers? And how do our advertisers talk to their C-suite to understand that the media that we are running is generating more revenue that is growing the entirety of the brand in and of itself from a financial standpoint?
So as a kid, I was a competitive tennis player. I was a top 20 youth player in the state of Florida growing up. And believe it or not, holistic ROAS actually made me think about tennis a lot in the recent weeks. And the reason for that is it's such a mental game. It's as much of a mental game as it is a physical game. And those of you who play it will know what I'm talking about. You go into it with a strategy. You know things about your opponent. You are having to execute a lot of precision on the court, but then you're also having to have agility to take in new information about what your opponent is bringing to the table that maybe you didn't know about them or you didn't anticipate, and how are you going to adjust in real time in order to get the win? And I was scrolling on TikTok, admittedly, recently, and I came across this video that really took me back to those days, because if you win or lose as a competitive player, you step off the court and your coaches are there and you have an immediate courtside debrief where your perspective of what you think you could have done to change the outcome is definitely different from what they're going to bring to the table and tell you, and it just adds a different layer of insight. So I want to play the video.
We had two Billie Jean King references here today at Tinuiti Live. No one saw that coming.
No one saw that coming. If you
Yeah.
watch that clip like 5 seconds
Yeah.
longer, she finishes that with pressure is a privilege. So
we
bringing
go.
it back to Jeremy at
Yeah.
the top of the day. But I loved seeing that video, and it was making me think about this because in this scenario, Serena is the marketer. It's like, you guys are Serena in this scenario. And Billie Jean King is playing the role of the partner or the coach or the agency who's saying, yes, you know what you needed to do, but also I saw some things that you didn't see, and here's what they are, and here's how you could have adjusted your strategy based on that information. Here's how you could have executed that from a precision standpoint and had the agility to change the outcome of that particular match. And that's what we all want to do at the end of the day. We all want to walk off the court and win. And I think that holistic ROAS is such a big promise to CMOs, and I'm a CMO myself. I'm excited by it because it gives you clarity and confidence to make different decisions. And what excites me about it in particular is like, one thing might tell you, hey, this is a 20% ROAS, and look, I love that. I would take that all day long. But then if I'm looking at the long tail and I find out it's 62% instead of 20%, that changes the decision I would make every single time. And that's really exciting because it does give you that predictive element of where should we spend and at what point would we hit diminishing returns, but also the long tail of it. And I think from a brand perspective, it answers a really hard question where it doesn't sit on the fluffy nature of it. It comes back to enterprise value, and that makes our jobs so much easier. So if you didn't have a chance to see it in the demo earlier today, I hope you come see us on the 3rd floor. We'd love to walk you through it. Thank you, guys.